Trump has just landed in Scotland, where he's going to be taking a working vacation, as they're saying. He does plan to have at least one round of golf at his golf course while he's there. And he's going to be discussing trade with some EU leaders while he's playing golf with them. And I say good. In fact, I think it was earlier this week where I said I begged President Trump to go play golf. I was begging him. I was like, go play a round of golf. You just need to get a game in. So he's gonna be playing around. So that's good. It's good news. Good news for the country. He needs that. It's therapeutic. And hopefully he shoots a good game. At least that's probably what his enemies are hoping. Now, he took questions from the press before getting on Air Force One. That was earlier this morning. We have some of the highlights and some of those clips. And then after he just landed, we're pulling in the entire kind of pseudo press conference, if you will. He just landed. He gets off Air Force One. He does another round of questions with the press and some other stuff. But talking about Epstein, Maxwell, the economy, trade, and a little golf. Talking a little golf. Does Happy Gilmore 2 come out this weekend? Is golf the theme of the weekend here? Do I need to get a tee time? So we'll be hearing all of that from President Trump coming up on the other side of this short segment. Now, we've got an update. Russia and Ukraine war. Things are heating up. Strikes going back and forth. Drone strikes. And then you've got some other stuff going on dealing with Israel. But most of this geopolitical news is going to be dealing with Russia and Ukraine. But I suppose the Israel issue always hits us here in the homeland as well. In America, my holy land. New hate speech laws, let's say, to put it simply, are now trying to target social media companies and force them to censor anti-Semitic speech. Yes, that's right. So what they're trying to do here is, oh, well, the government, it's like what they already did, but they didn't come out and do it publicly. Oh, well, the government can't censor your speech, but the private corporations can. So Facebook can censor you, or X, or anyone else. And so now they're going to try to pressure these social media companies into engaging in censorship again, except this time it's public with policy instead of behind the door stuff, secret emails and the portals and everything we learned about from the Biden administration. So, yes, I do have a stack on the Epstein-Maxwell situation, and there have been some developments. For the second straight day, Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche had a closed-door meeting with Maxwell in the prison and then made some comments afterwards. Then there were rumors that I haven't really seen confirmed yet. I think it's kind of obvious that this is where it's going to go, but I haven't seen it confirmed. So the rumors are Maxwell is requesting a pardon for cooperation in whatever it is they're asking her to cooperate in. So that's a whole nother thing. But Trump did comment on that again today as well. So when we come on to the other side, we're going to be playing clips of Trump this morning, and then we'll play the... I don't know if you would... Trump doesn't get coached on how to deal with the press, right? And I don't think Trump is really taking advice, let's say, on how to address certain situations like say, with the Epstein deal lately. Now, he might talk to people about what they're hearing, but I don't think he's really taking advice. But you can tell the messaging is kind of changing a little bit. But it's like, if I could advise the president, I would say, you need to be a little more clear for the American people what you mean here, because the way you're attacking this and the way you're responding to this, it makes you look guilty. So what you need to do is you need to just take it another step further. Don't deny your relations to Epstein. It's undeniable. And people will get over that. What you do is you say, hey, they only want to talk about me, but what about all the people that were giving millions or billions of dollars to Epstein that he was managing their money? What about them? Why don't you talk about them? What about all the people that went to the island? That's what the people really want to know. What about the videotapes from the island and the recording devices? That's what the people really want to know. So that's how you do this. So it's like, I get what he's trying to say. It's like he's had to say it 100 times now, and it's just been such ineffective communication. But it's like maybe now he's finally starting to, okay, it's like, all right, I've thrown 100 straight balls on this issue. I can maybe throw a strike now. But it's still like right on the outside corner. Don't deny you had an involvement. Don't tell people not to talk about Trump. Just say, no, they're turning it into an attack on me, but they're not telling you about Bill Clinton going to the island. They're not telling you about Bill Gates and Zorro Ranch. They're not telling you about whose money he was financing and managing. They're not telling you about his sweetheart deals. They just want to make it about me. No, you know what? I want to know what was going on the island. Maybe we can get some information on that. What was Bill Clinton doing on the island? And you can slowly start to pepper some other names in there if you want. But many of those people may be his friends. But see, that's how you have to do it. So to come out and say, don't talk about Trump, or I never knew him, that's just bad PR, bad communication. You can easily deflect this deal. You can deflect this deal. And it's like, you're getting closer. Yeah, let's talk about the island. Let's talk about Bill Clinton. Let's talk about all the people who have billions of dollars that he was managing their money. Who are they? This is what the people want to know. I'm with them. So it's almost there. And maybe after a round of golf, he can clear his head and find how to communicate that issue a little bit better. And then the Maxwell angle that's obviously about to get more interesting as well. But I just wanted to cut in for a second. And you can just explain. It's like, okay, you're getting closer to having better messaging on this, but you're just almost there. All right, let's go back.
Union, we're also meeting with, as you know, the head of UK, Prime Minister, and I look forward to that. But we're meeting, in terms of a deal, we're meeting with the European Union, and that would be actually the biggest deal of them all if we make it.
Did you ask House Republican leaders to not vote on the resolution about releasing the files?
I was never involved in that. I'm focused on making deals. I'm not focused on conspiracy theories that you are. I mean, I watch you people. It's so sad. You ought to talk about the success of our country instead of this nonsense that you talk about over and over again.
You've done an amazing job on illegal migration in America.
I have.
People here are very worried about the situation. Record numbers.
Well, I say two things to Europe. Stop the windmills. You're ruining your countries. I really mean it. It's so sad. You fly over and you see these windmills all over the place, ruining your beautiful fields and valleys and killing your birds. And if they're stuck in the ocean, ruining your oceans. Stop the windmills. And I mean, there's a couple of things I could say, but on immigration, you better get your act together. Or you're not going to have Europe anymore. You got to get your act together. And we, as you know, last month we had nobody entering our country. Nobody. Shut it down. And we took out a lot of bad people that got there with Biden. Biden was a total stiff. And what he allowed to happen, but you're allowing it to happen to your countries. And you got to stop this horrible invasion that's happening to Europe. Many countries in Europe. Some leaders have not let it happen. And they're not getting the proper credit they should. I could name them to you right now, but I'm not going to embarrass the other ones. But stop. This immigration is killing Europe. And the other thing, stop the windmills, killing the beauty of your countries. Thank you very much, everybody.
Okay, so that was President Trump moments ago landing in Scotland. and about to be doing some trade negotiations with EU leaders and hopefully playing a couple rounds of golf. Maybe he'll get out there on the new course. I think they said they have a ribbon-cutting ceremony this weekend with, I don't know if it'll be Don Jr. or Eric, but one of his sons will be doing that. So hopefully this will be some good R&R for President Trump, even though he'll be working. Hopefully getting out on the golf course will be some much-needed, let's say, nature therapy. What do they call it, guys? Forest bathing? Well, it's not quite that. I think those courses are pretty open, actually. But, no, I think this will be good. I think this will be good. It's been a pretty rough last month for President Trump. There's no doubt about it. So maybe a couple rounds of golf can ease some of that stress, clear his mind, and get him refocused on messaging and then, on the issues that the American people are really concerned about. So I don't have much time left in this segment. We'll come back on the other side and play the clips from this morning of Trump on the tarmac. It's likely you've seen most of those, but I still think it's worth playing a couple for those that haven't. You've signed a book for Jeffrey Epstein. Certainly it's possible. Does that implicate him in anything? No. He signs stuff. He sends stuff all the time. Calls people the greatest all the time. And again, it's just such bad. It's just such bad PR. It's such bad messaging. Stop trying to connect this to the Russiagate hoax. Stop that. It's a totally separate thing. If you want to deflect on the Epstein thing, do what you did today and say, oh, it's Bill Clinton or, oh, it's Bill Gates. That's what you do. Talk about his financier work. Talk about his sweetheart deals that kept him out of prison. Talk about who went to the island. That's what you talk about. But to try to act like, oh, I didn't know Epstein, I know nothing about it, it's just ridiculous. And it's gonna look more ridiculous because they're just gonna keep putting new stuff out that puts you at parties and weddings and beauty pageants and everything with the guy, which is not proof of anything criminal at all. But then you start to act like it's not real or it's fake or it's like Russiagate. Well, now it's like, now you look guilty. This is coming from one of his biggest supporters. That's what's so frustrating is you have all of these yuppies now. You have all these groupies, and they just, everything Trump does is perfect, and it's just so great. It's like you guys are messing this up badly. Because he sees you defending him when he makes mistakes, and he thinks, oh, everything's great. No. Your best friend's wife is cheating on him, you tell him. Your best friend's business partner is stealing money from him, you tell him. You don't say, oh, no, you and your wife are the best. Everything is great. Oh, you and your business partner, it's the best ever. No, you tell them the truth because you care about them. And you want to set it right. So he posted this last night after they published that book, which I don't know. I think it looks fake. I've never seen a Trump signature like that. It looks like it's like a photocopied, superimposed, like AI signature that they put onto the book. It's what it looks like to me. It doesn't really match anything else. It's like, I mean, how many times have you signed stuff with a Sharpie and in 20 years, in 30 years, it ages a little bit. It sinks into paper a little bit, and this is like, it looks like it was just signed. And I've never seen a Trump signature like that. But even if it is real, there's nothing there that makes him, there's nothing criminal. Trump writes letters and signs stuff all the time, and we knew he was hanging out with Epstein. So he posted this after the New York Times published that last night. The radical left Democrats are doing everything in their power to distract and obfuscate from our great 6 months of service to America, results of which many are saying is the best 6 months in presidential history. They have gone absolutely crazy and are playing another Russia hoax, but this time under the guise of what we will call the Jeffrey Epstein scam. As things are revealed, and I hope will take place quickly, you will see that it is yet another Democrat con job. Hopefully, the grand jury files will put an end to this hoax. Of course, the judge is blocking those. And Obama judge Robin Rosenberg. Everyone should see what is there, but people who are innocent should not be hurt. Make America great again. I don't know what that means. People who are innocent should not be hurt. I'm guessing that means that there's people on the flight logs and other things that weren't, engaged in sexual crimes. I'm assuming that's what, or financial crimes. But it's like even Trump is saying, oh, it's the Democrats. So, okay, I don't think it's the Democrats. No, I think if the Democrats were going to do this, they would have done it in one of the 3 campaign cycles, and they didn't. So I don't think it's the Democrats, but Trump says, oh, it's the Democrats. Well, okay, then you have to ask, how are the Democrats getting all of this dirt? Where are they getting it from? How are they getting it? Is somebody leaking it to them? Is there a leaker? Because there's no way they sat on this in an election cycle, so they weren't sitting on this. They didn't have it until Trump got into office. So how are they getting it? Is there a leaker? Or before Biden left the White House, did somebody get in there and steal documents so that it could be used against Trump in his second term? Now, of course, both of these things would be crimes, but nobody's really going with that angle. So we're just saying, oh, Democrat hoax. Well, words have meaning. So who's running the hoax? Who's leaking the materials? Where are they getting it? And that's why I used even the liberals, even the leftists starting to ask the right questions here. They're saying, and of course, they just wanted Trump destroyed earlier. And they look at this as this is destroying Trump. And it's MSNBC hosts, where was this stuff in 2016 and 2020 and 2024? Exactly. So I think this is just going to continue. That's the path it's on. And who knows? Who knows how much other crap they have? Who knows how many other photos and videos with Trump and Epstein there are? Who knows how many other birthday parties or letters or wedding invitations? I mean, it's just anything. It's like, yeah, clearly somebody has a Trump-Epstein file. And clearly somebody every day is just kind of slipping a couple cards under the table like, go ahead. Clearly that's going on. But yeah, you don't have somebody doing that for all the other people involved with Epstein. No, you don't have people doing that to former Israeli prime ministers that used to do business deals and hang out at Epstein's house. You don't have that going on. Nobody's releasing those files. Nobody's releasing the Epstein-Clinton files. Nobody's releasing the Epstein-Gates files. So yeah, this is clearly a hit on Donald Trump. And yes, the response from Trump and the White House has been a disaster. But it looks like at this point, he's just going to wait it out. He's just going to wait it out and maybe now try to cut a deal with Maxwell to aim her against who's ever doing this to him. Now, Todd Blanche, the Deputy Attorney General, just finished up his second rounds of interviews or negotiations with Maxwell, and then he posted it last night. Today I met with Maxwell, and I will continue my interview of her tomorrow. The Department of Justice will share additional information about what we learned at the appropriate time. So we don't have anything yet. Now, the rumors are Maxwell's legal team has requested a pardon. So whatever's going on, they're trying to cut a deal, and she's requested a pardon. Her lawyer has made public statements saying that she has fully cooperated in this investigation. By the way, Ron Klain became the first witness for the Biden auto pen scandal to not plead the fifth, FYI, in his closed-door testimony. But I digress. So Trump was asked about pardoning her earlier today, and he said this.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if she cooperated?
It's something I haven't thought about. It's really
If they
something.
recommended it,
It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not
you're
thought
not, but
about.
you wouldn't rule it out.
Why has the dollar?
So there you go. And I'm guessing, what is this footage on the screen here, guys? I haven't seen this. This is her going into prison. Oh, okay. This is her. This is her before or after the meeting. It looks like they're delivering her legal documents for review here. Okay, so let's get to the other clips from Trump earlier today, and finish up first with the Epstein stuff here. Here's one more, clip 7.
But, you should focus on Clinton. You should focus on the president of Harvard, the former president of Harvard. You should focus on some of the hedge fund guys. I'll give you a list. These guys lived with Jeffrey Epstein. I sure as hell didn't. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, should not be part of the president.
So you can tell Trump knows a lot more about this. He says he's going to give you a list. He says they lived with him. But that's what I'm saying is stop calling it a hoax or trying to divert and make it like the Russian collusion. Just be like, hey, I wasn't the only guy hanging out with Epstein. And my relations with Epstein were very superficial. Okay? I wasn't living at his place. I wasn't doing the deals. I wasn't flying to his island. I handled my own money, and I like grown women. So maybe talk to some other people that flew around with Epstein. Maybe talk to some other people that used to go to his island. Maybe talk to the people whose money he used to manage. So if they want to keep pushing it, he can start naming those names. And you see, the same frantic response, you might say, that people have had to the Epstein story in the last 3 weeks, now that will be aimed at the new names. Because it's really not a Trump thing. It's turned into a Trump thing, but it's not a Trump thing. It's an Epstein thing. It's a Maxwell thing. It's a blackmail thing. It's an intelligence operation thing. That's what we want to get to the bottom of. That's what we want. This isn't about burying Trump. This isn't about nailing Trump to the wall. This is about, really, I would say, if we go all the way, this is about exposing how these intelligence operations work so that the whole world can see how corrupt it is, and we can start to have a movement politically to say, we got to shut this down. We can't have these groups, the CIA, MI6, Mossad, other intelligence groups, other proxy groups, running around the world, billions of dollars in cash, funding wars, toppling regimes, sex trafficking, money laundering. And then, of course, they're above the law because they're the government agents. That's what this is about. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, if there were other people involved in sexual crimes against women and children, maybe we can bring them to justice too for the victims of all of this. That would probably be nice. Trump closing it out, though, here in clip 4.
Well, I don't know about the meeting. I know it's taking place, and he's a fantastic man. He's a great attorney, and people should really focus on how well the country's doing, or they should focus on the fact that Barack Hussein Obama led a coup, or they should focus on the fact that Larry Summers from Harvard, that Bill Clinton, who you know very well, and lots of other friends, really close friends of Jeffrey Summers, should be spoken about, because, Jeffrey Epstein should be spoken about, and they should speak about them, because they don't talk about them, they talk about me. I have nothing to do with the guy.
So starting to name the names, but then again, I had nothing to do with that. Come on, man. Come on. And I had nothing to do with Alex Jones. It's just ridiculous. All right, he did talk about some other things. talking about tariff revenue coming in here in clip 5.
And don't you feel it, Mr. President, with all of that revenue coming in tens and tens of billions of dollars, do you think there's the possibility of a rebate to the American public in terms of all of that money?
We're thinking about that.
Well, we called that one. I told you they'd start considering, I said they'll probably do a stimulus thing to try to get the approval ratings up. They're going to call it a rebate. But, yeah, did we say that on Monday this week, guys? When did we say that? We said they're going to just start throwing money at people to try to get the approval rating back up. Hey, fine, whatever. I think what should have been done was the Doge cuts. And then they said, oh, well, we'll make enough Doge cuts. We can send $5,000 to every citizen after the Doge cuts are made. So that's what you should have done. The incoming money on the revenues and the tariffs, that needs to go towards the debt. Now, Senator Hawley, said he's going to introduce legislation in the Senate to send a rebate check to every working person in America. So at least they're going to start that process. Where it goes from there, we'll find out. The federal government has opened up a PayPal and a Venmo account. You can volunteer to pay off the national debt. Isn't that fun? The federal government has given Americans the option to pay down the $36.7 trillion federal debt with PayPal and Venmo donations. This is beautiful. So all of the Democrats and all of the liberals that have been raising your taxes for years and always want to raise taxes, can't get enough taxes, they're all rushing to Venmo, they're all rushing to PayPal, they are voluntarily paying more taxes, the systems are overwhelmed. We're slicing into the debt now because we know that progressive liberals and Democrats are principled people and they are consistent in their beliefs. And they really believe that people need to be paying more to the government. And so they all rushed to Venmo and PayPal and started to help pay off the debt, so much so that the systems were shut down. Thank goodness high-tax Democrats are such principled and consistent people with policy. Thank goodness. So we're slashing into the debt now. Did you pick up on my sarcasm there? I don't know. Is it a little obvious? Yeah. I don't think a single Democrat has. Guys, pull up the federal debt tracker for me, because I believe on that deal they have a debt per citizen on there as well. So I actually think it's brilliant. Oh, yeah, hey, anybody want to help pay off the debt? I mean, sure. Why not do it? But, you know, the Democrats that tip less and donate less to charity but want to raise taxes, want to take your money, they won't volunteer their own. They never want to volunteer their own. So debt per citizen, $108,000. $108,000. So everybody go and put $108,000 on Venmo in your PayPal and pay off the debt. But I actually specifically Democrats that vote for higher taxes, you need to get on that. That's on you. All right? But no, you just love spending other people's money. You never volunteer to spend your own. And then talking about his Supreme Court ruling on presidential immunity might save Obama in clip 8.
Thank you, Mr. President. How do you think that the Supreme Court's ruling that benefited you on presidential immunity would apply to former President Barack Obama and what you're accusing him of doing?
It probably helps him a lot. Probably helps him a lot, the immunity ruling. But it doesn't help the people around him at all. But it probably helps him a lot. He's done criminal acts. There's no question about it. But he has immunity, and it probably helps him a lot.
A trade agreement you're looking to
signed
He
too.
owes me big. Obama owes me big.
What are the
So it's another way of telling all the people that were hyped up thinking Obama was about to get arrested that that ain't happening. And, of course,